So my problem with the comments was, well, so starting off, the whole idea of you've had 4 months or 5 months that you've been removed from this playoff conversation and this question of, well, how do you feel about not getting in? And the fact that we're still here in the middle of May or the end of May getting ready for the second season in Tuscaloosa, and your response to that is still, well, what if they had played our schedule? How would that have fared for them? And I will give him this credit, and then I'm not going to give him credit after this. I think it's fair to assume, would an Indiana, an SMU, a Boise State, one of those teams that got in the playoff, we know who they are, would they have beaten Georgia last year? Probably not. Maybe not. We don't know. That's a hypothetical, but I'll give him that side of the debate. When you want to bring up how you lost to Vanderbilt, you lost to Oklahoma. You scored 3 points against an Oklahoma team that finished the season under 500. The Tennessee one, I'll give you that one. Jalen Miller was bad that game. I'll give you that one. But to come out and make a comment like the majority of Power 4 programs last year would not have been able to put up a better fight against Oklahoma than Alabama did, would not have been able to beat that Vanderbilt team, that is an asinine comment. And that is not a comment that you can make when you haven't accomplished anything at this school. You haven't made a playoff. You haven't won a national championship. You haven't played for a conference championship or won one. And to come out here and say, well, if other teams had to play our schedule, how about you win your schedule? You beat Georgia. You played 30 of the best minutes of Alabama football I have ever seen in my entire life. And a week later, you couldn't beat Vanderbilt. You had more fans in their stadium in Nashville than Vanderbilt did, and you got embarrassed. And then you went to Norman, and myself and thousands of other Alabama fans drove 10 hours to watch the most pitiful, disgusting performance I have ever seen from Alabama football in Norman, Oklahoma that last year. And you still have the audacity to come out here and say, well, if other teams had played our schedule, maybe they wouldn't. No, they would have. Because all they had to do was beat Vanderbilt and freaking Oklahoma. I'm so tired of the excuses. This is when you stand up and you say, I am the head coach of Alabama football. I let those kids down. I didn't have them prepared. And this is why we didn't make the playoff. And you know what? Not going to happen this year. This is a different team this year. That's all you have to say. I love Kalen DeBoer. Think he's a good coach. I know Pat said it before with the word salad you get from him. Some of the comments this guy makes, it's very obvious that he was not from the SEC and he came from places that had completely different expectations than Alabama did. And you could have said that at Washington and people probably wouldn't have batted an eye. But you want to come to Alabama with all the talent you had, you're going to lose to Vanderbilt and Oklahoma in the same season to keep you out of the playoff, and then you still have the audacity 5 months later to say, well, what if they had played our schedule? They would have won those games, coach.